Hello guys, I don't feel good. I guess I don't look good. I think I've lost weight. My beard looks bad. Like, I don't know, somehow, I don't know what it is, my beard. It's functionally a very similar beard to how it's always been, yet all of a sudden it just looks horrible. I mean, I think maybe the lighting isn't great. What's the situation? It's all bad, it's terrible, I might cry. And if I do, I will probably cut it out. But I feel awful for 3 reasons, really. One, the twitch, which I was originally worried about, still there. Obviously, in this sense, the symptoms are kind of worse in that, when I first made that video, I'd had a twitch for less than 24 hours. Now I've had the twitch for, approaching 2 weeks. Quite consistently. I mean, admittedly, it seems to be more often now I'm waking up in the morning and it's not there. I don't know what that means. I did go to see a doctor and she said it seems like it's not very intense, which is a good thing. So I'm happy about that. And I heard a few other kind of reassuring things from the doctor, but the problem is it was things that were reassuring in terms of there's nothing to worry about now, but there could be things to worry about in the future, and that's something I can't really deal with. Basically, the only, if I'm worried about motor neuron disease, and I am, and I can't stop worrying about it, then the only way I can find out that I don't have it is to wait a matter of months to see what happens and how things develop. And that's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to just wait to find out this stuff when you have health anxiety. And back when I made that video last Monday, I did not think that I would be feeling this bad for this long, because in the past it's very much been a case of I worry about something and then I get some kind of reassurance, and then eventually I kind of move away from that worry. That has quite decidedly not happened here. There is, the reassurance has been incredibly minor, and the problem is I can't get much more than just, well, it's probably nothing, and that's a really difficult thing when you have health anxiety. To just be told it's probably nothing is terrible. And when I first really started getting health anxiety, it was about my heart, and I just went to A&E so many times because I thought there was something wrong with my heart. Eventually I got all of these tests, and that was kind of part of getting over it, but it took 3 months. It was a long time of just being worried and being anxious. And that's the thing, basically, as long as the symptom's there, it's knowing there's something just that's happening in your body that shouldn't be happening, just feeling that constant twitch. It's horrible. Because if you worry about these things, and I really don't know what to do. I've noticed other things, and sometimes I've been good and not Googled them. Sometimes I have, and I found out scary things, which I shouldn't have done. I know, I think in my last video I said that Googling things isn't that bad. I've firmly changed my opinion on that. I now realize Googling things is the problem. I think the issue is, previously when it comes to my health anxiety, as I've already said, my experience has been one of, you worry about something, and then you go to the doctors repeatedly, and then you find results, and then you stop worrying about it. And within that context, I always thought, well, if you look something up, it doesn't really matter because you can just go to the doctor and find things out. In this case, it doesn't work because the doctors can't definitively say oh, there's nothing wrong with you, or oh, there is something wrong with you. It's really horrible. Now, the other thing is the fact that I obviously have anxiety. I'm not out here claiming that everything that's wrong with me right now is, in my opinion, because of something that's physically wrong with me. I'm worried there is something physically wrong with me. That's kind of a scary thing, and it's something which I can't get out of my head. But obviously, a lot of what I'm going through is caused by anxiety. For example, my inability to eat food. But also my sleeping pattern is horrible. Last night I was so tired. I was so tired I could barely function. I went to sleep and I still woke up at 2 a.m, eventually got back to sleep, and I woke up, I didn't bother checking the clock, and I just thought, I'm going to lie here and snooze because I do feel kind of tired. So I'm going to kind of, and I assumed maybe that I was sleeping in. I was thinking in my head, like, everyone's probably wondering, why I'm still in bed, but I'm sure they understand that I need this sleep. Looked at my clock and it was 9:30, which is, not horrendously early, but the point is I thought it was like early afternoon. Like I thought I just slept, and that's what I need to do. Like I need to be able to just sleep solidly for a long time. That's something I really could do with. But yeah, eating, obviously it's very difficult to fill up my stomach with food because of anxiety. And also there's physical pain that's coming with it. I mean, I think obviously if I knew that all of the physical symptoms were to do with anxiety, I would be less nervous because I would know they're all to do with anxiety. The problem is that I know some of the symptoms are to do with anxiety, but my anxiety comes from the fact that I don't know what symptoms are to do with anxiety. Rational people will say, oh, it's all of them, but my brain says, no, there's something wrong. So, I am getting muscle pain quite badly, and just feeling on edge, and it's horrible. It really does suck, and it makes it very difficult to focus on things and to actually come across as charismatic or anything like that, which is why it's so difficult. Like, when I make my videos, I have to kind of come across as confident and like actually really seem like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. And I can't do that. Like I genuinely, like the idea of me making a video where my next video is going to be making fun of Vorsh, but it's like, can I really do that with this energy? I don't know. It's going to be really difficult, and it's kind of just a matter of I have to fake it until I make it. But it's very difficult to fake it. And the third thing that's coming on really strong now is the full-on depression. Just feeling so miserable. Like I wake up in the morning and I just feel miserable, like deeply, deeply sad. I try to do, and with these things, it's like most things in life, it's like you can fix them. And with anxiety and depression, you try to fix them by doing all these things you should do. Exercise, I've been exercising, I've been trying to read, I've been, trying to focus on things that I know I should kind of do. But I do these things and then I just come out the other side still feeling miserable, still feeling horrible. And then that makes the thing feel pointless, because it's like, I'm not going to say I'm only doing it to get it. Like obviously exercise and reading are good things to do, but it's really difficult when you do all this stuff that, like is kind of hard work. And the one thing you want out the end of it is a sense of achievement. And instead you come out the end of it feeling just absolutely miserable. Like, like people with weightlifting, it's usually you lift weights, it's hard work. And then at the end of it, you feel like you've achieved something. And now imagine doing that, but you don't have that feeling at the end that you've achieved something. You just come out the other end of it feeling just still so miserable, so worthless. It's really difficult. I have been watching a lot of QI. I've basically just downloaded the entire QI series from beginning to end, and I'm making my way through that just because it's conversational, it's lighthearted. It's one of the few things I can do to kind of sedate my mind. But I hate that too. I hate that I have to, when all you have is negative thoughts, you need to try and stop yourself thinking. And, for me, that's something I really don't enjoy doing. I don't want to just not think, to just kind of intentionally vegetate because the only thoughts I have are negative thoughts. But that's how I feel. So it's really difficult. And I know I have patrons who give me money, and I really appreciate it. And I realize that obviously there's an implied thing that I will make content based on the fact that I get paid, and it's really difficult to do that now. But I mean, I'll try to. I'm hoping I'll be able to feel at some point soon like I can actually fake it, but I really don't know what to do. It's really difficult. Very difficult. The main thing I'm trying to do is, when I work, do it around family, do it around people I know care about me. That's something I'm really kind of working at. And the other thing is, I'm trying to get a real job, because it sucks. I like this. I think doing this and trying to, in a way, I don't know if it's a coincidence that I started getting a lot more anxious after this channel really started taking off. Because that basically happened. There was not a long gap between this channel really kind of starting to do very well and me starting to get really desperately anxious. These two things quite quickly followed on from each other, which is, something which is hard not to draw conclusions from. It doesn't mean I ever want to quit this channel, I don't. But I think it's possible that my head started saying like, oh, this channel can actually be, is something which I could really factor into how I'm going to make a living and things like that. And I think something about that, I think, has just made me feel much worse mentally. And, there was a time I never thought I'd say this, but genuinely right now what I want is to have just a 9-to-5 job and have this be a thing I do on the side. Which is, a strange thing, because, for most of my life I have thought to myself, doing a 9-to-5 job would kind of suck. And, I couldn't, but I can't really expect to make loads of money off YouTube, so it's just what I'm going to have to do. Now I'm like, oh, YouTube's actually bringing in quite a decent amount of money, and yet I don't know how I feel about it. And, for that reason, I mean, I'm really trying to get just a paid, salaried job. And I really want that to happen. And I can't guarantee it will happen by any means. So I have to keep these crossed. I'll end on a positive note. I've been like this before, and it passed, and this will pass. It will have to pass at some point. If I was being pessimistic, I'd say it's not going to last longer than a year. Being optimistic, I'd say it might last a month or two. It's really difficult to know how I'm going to get over this. And obviously, I mean, you've got to bear in mind that there is a big part of my brain saying, actually, something is wrong. You do have something physically wrong with you. And in that sense, it's not even in my mind about getting over the anxiety. It's about how I'm going to cope with the idea that there could be something physically wrong with me. And yeah, it's a real challenge to deal with mentally. God. Yeah, I mean, I am reading, so even if you're not seeing content, the fact that I'm reading actually, could potentially lead to content in the future. I'm not, well, that's the funny thing. Even with all of this going on, I'm not exactly slacking off, because I read that reading can be good for anxiety, so I'm doing that. I'm not going to pretend that I'm just reading books about gender identity wall to wall, but, I'm reading things that are growing my mind, I think. Goodness gracious. What a horrible, horrible month this is going to be. I don't know what to do, the worst thing is I'm better than I have been. This is an improvement. At least I've actually got the kind of mindset of having the motivation to make a video, and it's this. I just want to be happy, and it's very difficult, which sucks a lot. But yeah, it will pass. And again, because ultimately it is still, even though it's kind of evolved into a bigger thing, the root of it is still health anxiety. So I do think that if I did get confirmation that nothing was wrong, then I'd probably feel a lot better. It's just the UK healthcare system, it's not that easy to just kind of make things happen quickly. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to stick with it, and I'll hopefully have some videos for you some point in the future. Thank you for everyone. Thank you to, I guess I'll say all the people who are going to, over the next month or so, suspend your Patreon donations. I completely understand that. I hope that while, I'm unlikely to get new patrons or anything like that, or really grow my Patreon in any sense over this, this period, I do hope that when I get back into the swing of things, I'm able to recover quite quickly. Just because, it is hard work making these videos when I am making these videos. So, I do appreciate people who give on Patreon, and the people who are going to keep giving on Patreon, even knowing that it will be a while until I can really come back and make a video that I think is worth, that I'll be able to do, really. I really appreciate you. I think I'm going to try and I'll definitely really try to make a video before the end of the month. But I don't know. That's not to say I don't think I'll be over this state of mind I'm in before the end of the month. It's really difficult. Goodbye for now. I'll see you later, alligators.